So this is cellular metabolism. It's a signaling pathway that produces a metabolic response in cells. And it's going to be in which metabolic enzymes in the cell become more or less active as a means to cope with the energy needed to react in fight or flight responses. So these are going to be short-term emergencies that are fueled by adrenaline. So I want to give a quick description on fight or flight responses, also known as acute stress responses. They are a physiological reaction that occurs in response to a perceived harmful event, attack, or threat to survival. So these are going to be perceived environmental stressors. And I would just like to quickly address that adrenaline is the common term for its chemical component, epinephrine. Now, a little bit about epinephrine. It readies the bodies for short-term emergencies, like previously stated, but it's made in the adrenal gland, and it's also known as adrenaline, something I just stated, and it's used to prepare the body for fight or flight, and it signals the body to produce energy in the form of glucose to carry out necessary bodily functions. And so your cellular metabolic processes are going to respond to this and produce the right amount of glucose to be stored and then used. A little bit about what we're looking at. This is the phospholipid bilayer of a muscle cell, and this little blue ball is going to be your epinephrine chemical component. And this green globular protein is your epinephrine receptor, in which it's going to accept the epinephrine from the exterior fluid and accept it into the interior cellular environment. And so this is then going to be transferred to your adenyl cyclase. And so that's a G-coupled protein in which it's going to signal a transduction cascade involving the production of a second messenger. When the epinephrine binds to it, of course. So this second messenger that I talked about is going to be molecular cyclic AMP. And because we used a G-coupled protein that comes in the form of adenyl, our CAMP is also going to have adenyl components. The energy that's used for the CAMP to then work is going to be ATP, and then it's going to initiate and catalyze the production of two enzymatic behaviors. These two enzymes are going to be glycogen phosphorylase and inactive glycogen synthase. And so a little bit about either of them. Glycogen phosphorylase is going to be used to break down glycogen into glucose because, as we remember, glycogen is the storage unit for glucose, and glucose is the actual energy that can be used. Phosphorylation activates glycogen phosphorylase, causing lots and lots of glucose to be released. And now a little bit about our inactive glycogen synthase. This enzyme involved in building glycogen, and the phosphorylation actually causes the inhibition of glycogen synthase. So it inhibits the activity of it making glycogen. This ensures that no new glycogen molecules are built when the current need for glycogen is to be broken down. So through the regulation of these enzymes, a muscle cell can store large amounts of glucose when it gets pooled within the cell. And so when a sudden surge of adrenaline is necessary, the fight or flight response can draw energy from these muscle cells.